Alright, here it is installed. Got the side back on. It's solid. And I think we're just about ready to go. I didn't get any of the installation on camera because I don't have a tripod or anybody to hold the camera. But me and my dad held it up in place. We kind of got it somewhat in position, put a couple screws in it to hold it, and just kind of did a dry test fit. And then we made a few adjustments left to right, got it where we wanted it, held it in place with screws again, and then I put a piece of tape like across the center of the roof down to the side, and then I cut it, so we used that as a reference point. Pulled the side back off, put a PL Premium construction adhesive all along that top edge, and then we got it back in place, lined up our tape mark, and screwed it into place. I ended up using some white painted deck screws I had on hand. I think they were like 1.25 inches. Here they are right here. So I screwed this side on with those, and then this trim piece right here came later. That went on after it was the side was already mounted. We got it mounted, and then we used butyl tape across that top edge, and then that trim piece went on, and then I caulked the trim piece with the Dicor no sag lap sealant. And then I put the hasp clips on and used the butyl tape, and I caulked the top of them. Put the door back on. These took stainless steel hardware with rubber washers. They're actually not rubber. What's that other synthetic material? I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look. But that's those 4 bolts. Patched a few other little cracks and stuff in the skin with epoxy. That's why I have everything taped off, because I went back and spray painted it. Hoping it looks halfway decent at least. I don't really care what it looks like as long as it doesn't leak. This is that Dicor lap sealant. I taped it off and then put the caulk down. That's why it looks kind of goofy there. But it'll be watertight, that's for sure. It's some tacky stuff. What else did I do? Let's see. Oh, the canvas, well, vinyl, tent material. We had to jack the roof of the camper up to its proper full up position to get that tent material bracket located correctly. We tried taking measurements from the other side and checking it to see if it was level, and then transferring that to this side. It didn't work. It was totally different, and I think it's because of the door. And it's just the geometry is totally different on this side for that tent material, at least for the bracket that it hooks up to. So we just kind of eyeballed it with it in its full position, full up position, and it worked out good actually, doing it that way. We wasted a lot of time taking measurements from that other side and trying to transfer them over to this side, and it's not the same. At least we found it didn't appear to be the same. We're we got that all put together though on the inside. We pulled it out of the garage the other day and set it up totally. Checked the furnace operation, checked the propane feeding the fridge. Everything works good. The only problem we had, and I'm not sure if it was the installation or how I had these boards for the side glued together, but there appears to be a slight inward bow right towards the middle, but the middle around I'd say starting about halfway from the door towards the back, about 2 or 3 feet. The camper doesn't want to close on its own. It kind of catches the top rail of the actual camper body. See if I can get my hand in here. Catches right up in here because this is bowed inward, and that rail hits the top of the body. And I've kind of pried on it a little bit and tweaked it, and it's better, but you still have to help it close. And to do that, I get it almost closed, and then I wedge this putty knife in there, and I'm able to kind of pop it out and then push down on the roof, and it slides over the side. So I'm not too happy about that, but I'm hoping it'll kind of unwarp itself over time, especially over winter. If it's sitting in this position closed for long enough, maybe it'll work itself out. Otherwise, I'll have to tweak on that bottom bracket a little bit. I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. At least it's solid. So that's about it. Sorry I don't have a video of the actual assembly, but it's pretty straightforward. You hold the piece up into place and screw it in. You know, we decided to glue it and screw it, and then it's just putting that track back on, putting the clips back on, these guys, and mounting that door back in place. That's about it, really. And then caulking it back up. Now I had some epoxy patches up here. Apparently epoxy doesn't accept this paint very well, but yeah, it looks better than it did. We'll see, I guess. If we get into a rainstorm, I'd like to know if it's watertight. It should be. But I'll pull that tape off and I'll put the awning back on. And as far as that project goes, I'd call that done. So hopefully this helps somebody with a similar problem. That back corner rotted, and that front corner rotted. And it's probably from somebody over the years just not maintaining this top roof seal right here. I know my caulk isn't pretty. Once that stuff, you give it that Dicor like a couple of minutes, it starts to skin over and you can't really smooth it out. Not like silicone. But this is supposed to be the good stuff, so we'll see. Alright, that's all I got. Thank you.